Stop for a moment. Let me ask you something important. Are you really living your life? Or are you just repeating the same day again and again? Most people never think about this. They wake up, scroll their phone, go through the day, and fall asleep, without ever questioning where their life is going. Welcome to An Amazing Storyteller. This channel is not just about stories. It's about improving your English fluency while listening to stories that feel real, meaningful, and connected to everyday life. So listen carefully, relax, and let the words guide you. If you enjoy this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because every story here is designed to help you grow, think, and speak better English. Now, let's begin. The moment you stop and question your life. Have you ever had a moment where you suddenly stop and think? Not a deep conversation, not a big event, just a quiet moment. You are sitting alone, maybe at night, maybe early in the morning. Your phone is in your hand, your day is over, and for a few seconds, everything becomes silent. And a strange question appears in your mind. Is this really my life? You don't know why the question comes, but it does. You wake up every day, you follow the same routine, you go to work or study, you eat, you sleep. From the outside, everything looks normal, but inside, something feels missing. You feel tired even when you didn't work hard. You feel busy but not fulfilled. You feel like time is moving, but you are standing still. And that is when the real question comes. Am I living or am I just existing? Most people never stop to ask this. They stay busy to avoid thinking. They scroll their phone, they watch videos, they distract themselves, because thinking feels uncomfortable. But this moment, this question is important. It is not a weakness, it is awareness. It means your mind is waking up. You realize that life is more than just surviving, more than paying bills, more than waiting for weekends. You want something more. Maybe you want confidence. Maybe you want freedom. Maybe you want to speak better English. Maybe you want to feel proud of yourself. You don't want a perfect life. You want a meaningful one. This moment is not loud. No one claps for it. No one sees it. But it is powerful, because every real change starts with a question. And this question is the beginning. Not the end, not the solution, just the beginning. If you are listening to this right now and this feels familiar, that means you are not asleep anymore. You are starting to notice your life. And that is where everything begins. Why most people feel stuck without knowing why. After that quiet moment, after you ask yourself, is this really my life? Something changes. Not outside, inside. You start noticing patterns. You wake up at the same time, you check your phone without thinking, you follow the same routine, the same roads, the same conversations, day after day. Nothing is wrong, but nothing feels right either. This is how many people feel stuck without knowing why. They are not in pain, but they are not excited. They are not unhappy, but they are not happy. They feel tired even when they rest. They feel busy, but not productive. The reason is simple. Their life is on autopilot. They are moving, but not choosing. The routine decides everything. The habits decide everything. When you live like this, time moves fast. Weeks disappear. Months pass quietly. And because nothing feels bad, you don't change anything. Comfort becomes a trap. You stay in the same place because it feels safe, not because it feels good. And slowly, without noticing, your dreams become quieter. You stop asking big questions. You stop trying new things. You stop believing that change is possible. Not because you are weak, but because you are comfortable. This happens to students. This happens to workers. This happens to people everywhere. It doesn't matter where you live. It doesn't matter how old you are. Feeling stuck is universal. But here is something important to understand. Feeling stuck does not mean you are broken. It means you are repeating the same life while expecting a different feeling. And life does not change by accident. It changes when you decide to change. This feeling of being stuck is not the enemy. It is a signal telling you there is more inside you. And the moment you understand this, you are no longer stuck. You are just at the beginning of change. The lie of, "I'll start tomorrow." When you start feeling stuck, you don't ignore it completely. You make a promise to yourself. You say, "I'll start tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'll wake up early. Tomorrow, I'll practice English. Tomorrow, I'll exercise. Tomorrow, I'll change my life." This promise feels good. It gives comfort. It gives hope. It makes you feel responsible. But tomorrow has a problem. Tomorrow never comes. When tomorrow becomes today, you feel tired. You feel busy. You feel distracted. So you say the same thing again. "I'll start tomorrow." Slowly, this sentence becomes a habit. Not because you are lazy, but because starting feels uncomfortable. Change needs energy. Change needs courage. And tomorrow feels safe. The danger is not one delay. The danger is repeated delay. One day becomes 1 week. 1 week becomes 1 year. And 1 year later, your life looks exactly the same. You tell yourself, "It's not the right time. I'm not ready yet. I need more motivation." But the truth is simple. You will never feel ready. Readiness comes after action, not before it. People who change their lives don't wait for perfect conditions. They start when conditions are messy. They start when they are scared. They start when they feel unsure. Because they understand something important. Waiting does not remove fear. Action does. Every time you say tomorrow, you train your brain to delay. And delay slowly turns into regret. This is not about doing everything today. It is about doing one small thing today. 5 minutes. 1 sentence in English. 1 small step. Not tomorrow, now. Because the life you want will not begin on a perfect day. It will begin on a normal day when you decide to stop waiting. Time is quietly passing, even when you're not ready. After you stop trusting tomorrow, another realization slowly appears. Time is moving, even when you are not ready. It does not ask questions. It does not wait for permission. It does not slow down because you feel confused. Time moves quietly. One day feels normal. Then suddenly, months are gone. You look back and think, how did so much time pass so fast? This is the danger of time. It doesn't shout. It doesn't warn you. It just moves forward. Every year, you get older. Your energy changes, your responsibilities increase, and the window for change becomes smaller. Not impossible, just harder. Many people believe they have plenty of time. They think, I'll focus on my goals later. I'll learn English when life is easier. I'll change when things slow down. But life rarely slows down. It usually becomes busier. And waiting for the perfect moment is the fastest way to lose years. Time is fair, but it is strict. Everyone gets the same 24 hours, but not everyone uses them the same way. Some people invest time. Others spend it without thinking. And some people waste it. without realizing what they're losing. This is not meant to scare you. It is meant to wake you up. Because once you understand that time is limited, your priorities change. You stop delaying small actions. You stop waiting for permission. You stop pretending you have forever. You start asking better questions. What matters today? What one thing can I do now? What can I stop wasting time on? Time will pass anyway. The question is simple. Will it pass with you or without you? The comfort zone that slowly kills dreams. Once you understand that time is passing, you start noticing something else. You are not stuck because life is hard. You are stuck because life is comfortable. Comfort feels safe. Comfort feels familiar. Comfort feels easy. You wake up and do what you already know. You stay with habits that do not challenge you. You avoid situations that make you feel uncomfortable. And this feels normal. But comfort has a hidden cost. It slowly kills your dreams. Not in one big moment, but quietly, day by day. Inside the comfort zone, nothing pushes you. Nothing challenges you. Nothing forces you to grow. You may feel relaxed, but you do not feel proud. You may feel busy, but you do not feel progress. Growth always feels uncomfortable at first. Speaking English feels uncomfortable. Trying something new feels uncomfortable. Failing feels uncomfortable. So the mind chooses comfort. It chooses scrolling instead of learning, watching instead of doing, waiting instead of starting. But every time you choose comfort over growth, you make your comfort zone stronger. And the stronger it becomes, the harder it is to leave. This is why many people stay in the same life for years, not because they cannot change, but because they avoid discomfort. Here's the truth. Discomfort is not your enemy. It is a signal that you are growing. Every confident person you admire was once uncomfortable. Every skilled person you respect once felt awkward and unsure. The difference is simple. They accepted discomfort. Others avoided it. You don't need to escape your comfort zone forever. You only need to step outside it once every day. Speak even when you are nervous. Try even when you are unsure. Move even when it feels hard. That small daily discomfort is how dreams stay alive. Why motivation is unreliable. After stepping outside your comfort zone, you may feel excited at first. You feel motivated. You tell yourself, this time will be different. I am ready to change. And for a short time, motivation feels powerful. But then something happens. One day you feel tired. One day you feel bored. One day you feel lazy. And suddenly, motivation disappears. This is where many people stop. They think something is wrong with them. But nothing is wrong. Motivation was never meant to last. Motivation is an emotion, and emotions change. If you wait to feel motivated, you will only act sometimes. But life changes when you act consistently. Successful people understand this early. They do not depend on motivation. They depend on habits. They do the work even when they do not feel like it. They practice even when they are tired. They continue even when progress feels slow. This is not about being special. It is about being disciplined. Discipline means doing what matters even when your mood says no. Think about brushing your teeth. You don't wait for motivation. You do it because it is part of your life. Growth works the same way. When learning English, some days will feel easy. Other days will feel frustrating. If you only practice when you feel motivated, your progress will be slow. But if practice becomes a habit, your progress becomes unstoppable. Motivation starts the journey. Discipline keeps it going. And discipline is something anyone can build. One small action done every day. That is how real change happens. Discipline, doing what you don't feel like doing. Now that you understand motivation is unreliable, it is time to talk about discipline. Discipline is not about being strict or harsh. Discipline is not about punishment. Discipline is simple. It is doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like doing it. Most people wait for the right feeling. They say, "I'll study when I feel motivated. I'll practice English when I have energy. I'll start when life is calm." But life is rarely calm. There will always be noise. There will always be excuses. There will always be reasons to stop. Discipline means acting anyway. It means keeping promises to yourself. Small promises. Practice for 10 minutes. Read 1 page. Speak 1 sentence. These actions may feel small, but they change how you see yourself. Every time you do what you said you would do, your self-respect grows. You start trusting yourself, and trust creates confidence. Discipline is not something you are born with, it is something you train. Just like a muscle. The first time feels hard, the second time feels easier. Slowly, it becomes normal. This is how people change their lives, not with big dramatic moments, but with quiet, daily discipline. On days when you feel tired, discipline carries you. On days when you feel confident, discipline keeps you grounded. Motivation starts the fire. Discipline keeps it burning. And when discipline becomes part of your life, progress becomes inevitable. Overthinking, the silent enemy. When you start building discipline, another challenge appears. Overthinking. Overthinking sounds smart. It feels responsible. It feels like preparation. But most of the time, overthinking is fear in disguise. You think about every possible problem, every possible mistake, every possible failure. You plan again and again. You wait for perfect conditions. And while you think, life moves on. Overthinking does not protect you. It keeps you stuck. You imagine failure before it happens. You create problems that do not exist yet. This is why many people know what to do, but never do it. They think themselves into paralysis. Action is the cure. When you act, confusion becomes clearer, fear becomes smaller. You do not need all the answers to begin. You only need the first step. When learning English, overthinking sounds like this. What if I make mistakes? What if people laugh? What if my accent is bad? But mistakes are part of learning. Silence is the real failure. Speaking one imperfect sentence is better than thinking about perfect English forever. The same rule applies to life. Clarity comes after action. Confidence comes after effort. So, when your mind becomes noisy, do something physical. Write 1 sentence. Speak 1 word. Take 1 small step. Action quiets the mind. And once you move, everything becomes easier. The fear of being judged. After overthinking, another fear often appears. The fear of being judged. You worry about what people will think. You worry about how you sound. You worry about how you look. You imagine people laughing. You imagine people criticizing you. And because of this fear, you stay silent. This fear is very common. People experience it at work, at school, online, in conversations, especially when speaking English. You think, what if I say something wrong? What if my grammar is bad? What if my accent sounds strange? So you choose silence. But here is the truth. Most people are too busy thinking about themselves to judge you. They are worried about how they look, how they sound, what others think of them. Your mistakes matter far less than you imagine. And even if someone judges you, it changes nothing about your future. Their opinion does not pay your bills. Their opinion does not improve your skills. Avoiding judgment keeps you small. Facing judgment makes you stronger. Every confident person you see once felt embarrassed. They spoke, they made mistakes, they survived. And so will you. Confidence does not come from perfection. It comes from courage. The courage to speak, even when your voice shakes. The courage to try, even when you feel exposed. When you stop living for approval, you start living for progress. And that is when real confidence begins. Comparison is stealing your confidence. After the fear of being judged, there is another quiet problem: comparison. It often starts on your phone. You scroll through social media, you see people with better lives, better jobs, better English, better confidence. And without noticing, you start comparing. You compare your daily struggles to someone else's best moments. You forget something important. You are seeing a highlight, not the full story. You do not see their failures. You do not see their bad days. You do not see how long it took them to improve. But comparison makes it feel like you are behind. It makes you doubt yourself. It makes your progress feel small. Comparison is unfair. You are running a different race, with a different starting point, with different challenges. When you compare yourself to others, you stop seeing your own growth. You forget how far you have already come. Social media is not real life. It shows success, but hides effort. If you keep looking sideways, you will lose focus. Your only real competition is the person you were yesterday. If you are better today than you were last month, you are winning. Replace comparison with learning. Instead of feeling jealous, ask, what can I learn from this? Focus on your path. Move at your speed. Confidence grows when you measure progress against yourself, not against others. You versus you, the real battle. When comparison fades, you start seeing the real challenge. The battle is not outside, it is inside you. Every day, two voices speak in your mind. One voice wants comfort. It says, rest today, skip practice, just relax. The other voice wants growth. It says, do the work, stay focused, keep going. This is the real battle. You versus you. Not your job, not your family, not society. The version of you that wants an easy life versus the version of you that wants a meaningful life. This battle happens every morning, every evening, in small moments. Do I practice English or scroll my phone? Do I sleep early or watch one more video? Small choices decide big futures. The good news is this: you do not need to win every battle. You only need to win most of them. Every time you choose growth, that version of you becomes stronger. Every time you choose comfort, the other version grows. The identity you build comes from repeated choices. You are not lazy. You are not weak. You are simply feeding the wrong voice. Change what you feed. Feed discipline. Feed effort. Feed learning. And slowly, the stronger version of you will take control. Small daily actions that change everything. Once you understand that life is a series of choices, you may start thinking about big changes, big goals, big plans, big transformations. But real change rarely happens in big moments. It happens in small daily actions. Many people wait for a perfect opportunity. They wait for a big breakthrough. They wait for one dramatic moment to change everything. But life does not work that way. Life changes quietly. One small action today, one small action tomorrow, then another. These actions feel unimportant at first. Practicing English for 10 minutes, reading one page, writing one sentence, listening carefully instead of passively. It does not feel powerful, but these small actions repeat, and repetition creates results. This is called consistency. Consistency is more important than intensity. Doing a little every day is better than doing a lot once a week. When you act daily, your brain adapts. What feels hard today feels normal tomorrow. What feels normal becomes easy. And one day you look back and realize something surprising. You are better. You are more confident. You understand more. You speak more easily. Not because of one big decision, but because of many small ones. Do not underestimate small actions. They build habits. Habits build identity. Identity builds your future. Change does not ask for perfection. It asks for commitment. One small step, taken every day. Why pain can become power. As you begin to change, something from your past may come back. Pain. Old failures, rejections, embarrassing moments, times when things did not work. Most people try to forget these moments. They hide them. They avoid thinking about them. But pain does not disappear. It stays inside. And if you ignore it, it becomes fear. But pain can also become something else. It can become power. Every strong person you admire has felt pain. They failed. They were rejected. They were doubted. The difference is not that they had less pain. The difference is how they used it. Pain can teach you discipline. Pain can teach you humility. Pain can teach you what matters. When something hurts, it means it mattered to you. That is not weakness. That is information. If you use pain correctly, it pushes you forward. It reminds you why you started. It reminds you why you cannot quit. Think about learning English. Maybe someone laughed at your accent. Maybe you felt embarrassed speaking. That pain can stop you, or it can motivate you to improve. The choice is yours. Do not hide your pain. Do not be ashamed of it. Use it. Let it remind you that you want more. Pain is not here to destroy you. It is here to shape you. Nobody is coming to save you. At some point in life, you realize a hard truth. Nobody is coming to save you. No one is going to suddenly fix your problems. No one is going to give you the perfect opportunity. No one is going to knock on your door and say, your life is about to change. Many people wait. They wait for support. They wait for permission. They wait for someone to believe in them. And while they wait, life keeps moving. This truth can feel scary at first, but it is also powerful. Because when nobody is coming to save you, you become responsible. And responsibility brings freedom. You stop waiting for motivation from others. You stop waiting for approval. You stop waiting for the perfect moment. You realize that if your life is going to change, it will be because you changed it. This does not mean you must do everything alone. It means you must start alone. It means you take the first step before anyone supports you. Think about learning English. No one can practice for you. No one can speak for you. No one can build your confidence for you. You must do it yourself. And once you start, support often appears later. Strength grows when you stop waiting. When you accept that no one is coming, you stop feeling helpless. You feel in control. And control is the beginning of confidence. Choosing yourself when no one believes in you. There comes a time when you notice something painful. People around you do not really understand your goals. They may care about you, but they do not see what you see. They ask questions like, "Why are you doing this? Why are you trying so hard? Why don't you just live normally?" Sometimes they laugh. Sometimes they doubt you. Sometimes they stay silent. And slowly, you feel alone. This is the moment when many people stop. Not because they are incapable, but because they want validation. They want someone to say, "Yes, you were right, go ahead." But that approval often never comes. And here is the uncomfortable truth. Most people will only believe in you after you succeed, not before. That means if you wait for support, you may wait forever. So there is only one real option. You choose yourself. You continue even when nobody claps. You work even when nobody notices. You learn even when nobody asks you to. This is not arrogance, it is self-trust. Every meaningful journey starts alone. Confidence does not come from people agreeing with you, it comes from seeing yourself keep going. One day, results speak, and when they do, the same people who doubted you will say they always believed in you. But by then, their opinion no longer matters, because you already believed in yourself. Risk, fear, and the choice to move forward. Every important decision comes with fear. Not panic, not danger. Just a quiet voice that asks, "What if this goes wrong?" This voice appears when you think about changing jobs, when you think about speaking up, when you think about learning something new. Fear is not a sign that you are weak. It is a sign that you are stepping into something unfamiliar. Most people misunderstand fear. They think fear means stop. In reality, fear means pay attention. It means something matters. A life without risk feels calm on the surface, but underneath, it becomes empty. No excitement, no growth, no stories to remember. People who grow do not remove fear, they move with it. They take small risks instead of waiting for big confidence. They send the message. They apply for the job. They speak even when their voice is not perfect. Progress does not require bravery all at once. It requires movement. Each small risk builds trust in yourself, and slowly, fear loses its power. Because the biggest risk is not failure. The biggest risk is staying the same and wondering later what could have happened. Creating a new version of yourself. At some point, you realize something important. The life you are living now was created by your old habits, your routines, your reactions, your daily choices. If you want a different future, you cannot keep acting like the same person. This does not mean hating who you were. It means updating who you are. Think of it like this. Your phone works well for a few years, but eventually it needs an update. New features, better performance, fewer bugs. You are the same. The version of you from the past was doing the best they could with the knowledge they had, but you know more now. And with new awareness comes a new responsibility. You start changing small things. How you spend your mornings, what you listen to, who you give your attention to. You stop repeating habits that no longer serve you. You begin building new ones. At first, it feels strange. People may say, "You've changed." They are right. Change is the goal. Growth requires leaving old identities behind. You are not becoming someone fake. You are becoming someone intentional. And the moment you choose this new version of yourself, your future quietly shifts direction. Focus in a world that never stops distracting you. Once you start becoming a new version of yourself, you notice something very quickly. The world does not help you focus. Your phone vibrates, notifications appear, messages arrive, videos never end. Distraction is everywhere, and it is not an accident. Modern life is designed to steal your attention. Every small interruption feels harmless, but together, they break your concentration. You sit down to learn something. 5 minutes later, you are checking your phone. 10 minutes later, you forget what you started. This is why many people feel busy, but achieve very little. Focus is not natural anymore. It must be trained. Think of focus like physical strength. If you never train your body, it becomes weak. If you never protect your attention, your mind becomes scattered. People who make progress are not smarter. They are not luckier. They are simply better at protecting their focus. They choose when to be available. They choose when to be alone with their work. They choose depth over noise. This does not mean living like a robot. It means creating space, time without the phone, time without constant input, time where your mind can stay on one task. Even 30 minutes of real focus is powerful. When you learn to control your attention, you control your direction. And direction, repeated daily, creates a completely different life. Becoming the person you respect. As your habits change and your focus improves, something deeper begins to shift. The way you see yourself. At first, confidence comes from small wins. You practice when you don't feel like it. You keep a promise to yourself. You finish what you start. These moments seem small, but they do something important. They build self-respect. Self-respect is different from confidence. Confidence depends on success. Self-respect depends on behavior. You respect yourself when your actions match your values. When you say you will do something and you actually do it. When you stop making excuses and start taking responsibility. Slowly, you begin to stand differently. You speak more clearly. You make decisions with less doubt. Not because you are better than others, but because you trust yourself. People notice this change. They may not know why, but they feel it. Respect from others often comes after respect from yourself. And the best part is this: no one can take it away from you. It is built quietly, daily, through honest effort. Becoming someone you respect is one of the strongest foundations for a meaningful life. The quiet decision that changes your future. At the end of everything you've heard, there is no dramatic moment, no loud music, no sudden miracle, just a quiet decision. A decision most people never make. It happens internally. You stop waiting to feel different. You stop hoping life will suddenly improve. You stop looking for signs. Instead, you decide. You decide to take responsibility for the direction of your life. Not perfectly, not all at once, but honestly. You decide to show up even on ordinary days. You decide to keep learning even when progress feels slow. You decide to act even when no one is watching. This decision does not change everything immediately, but it changes how you move forward. From this moment, you no longer see yourself as someone waiting for change. You see yourself as someone creating it. You understand that growth is not loud. It is quiet and consistent. That improvement is not fast. It is steady and real. That confidence is not given. It is earned through action. If you are listening to this now, remember this. You do not need to become someone else. You only need to become more intentional with who you already are. Your future is not built in one day. It is built in ordinary moments, handled with discipline and focus. So make the decision today, not to be perfect, but to be consistent. Not to change everything, but to change one thing and keep going. That quiet choice, made again and again, is what shapes a life you can respect. And that is how real transformation begins. Thank you for staying with me until the end of this video. If you listened carefully, you didn't just practice English, you practiced thinking differently, and that matters. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Comment below and tell me, what topic do you want me to create the next video on? It could be about confidence, daily habits, career growth, self-discipline, or improving English fluency in real life. Your comment helps shape the next story. If this video helped you even a little, please like it. It helps more learners find this content. Share this video with someone who is learning English or needs a little motivation today. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more long-form English listening practice with real-life stories and meaningful ideas. Keep listening, keep learning, and most importantly, keep moving forward. I'll see you in the next video.